I just finished one of these Mommy Tantrum trainings, and there was a mom who shared in the chat that she did talk therapy, and all it did for her was it stirred up all that pain again. It opened it up. And it's actually very common feedback I keep getting from women who did a lot of therapy. Because when they got over like all these, they went through some processes, they found a therapist, a counselor, they signed up with them, they started going for these weekly sessions, and all it did was that it opened up the wounds. So they were invited to, okay, talk about it, tell me what happened in your past, tell me, describe it, tell me all the details. And so they actually were, my heart was breaking for them, because they were telling me I was leaving these sessions, these weekly sessions, feeling worse than ever before. Worse than when I came in. Because they made me remember all that pain. And then the session just ended. And they said, okay, come back next week. And I'm like, what? So you made me dig in that most sore, painful spot that I wish I could forget about it. You made me bring it up, make it all alive again. Without actually giving me any help, any tools. How can I not feel the pain? Like, are you kidding me? And so the ones that realize that this is happening, that's the point when they stop going for therapy. But then there are many of them who just continue because they think that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm here to tell you, and I will say that with all the respect. I have all the respect for all mental health care professionals, okay? All therapists, counselors. I have lots of colleagues. They're applying different techniques for different kind of trouble. I respect them all. I wish everybody well. I don't judge. What I would tell you, if you are struggling with keeping your emotions in check, even though your logical brain knows that's not how you want to behave, then that's usually a first sign of unhealed childhood trauma for me, okay? Because if your nervous system takes over, even though your logical brain knows better now, that means that's your trauma. I call it time machine sometimes. Because the moment somebody does something to like push the button, and they suddenly make you feel, as a kid, like feeling not heard, not respected, not loved, not good enough. All of those feelings, emotions go all the way back to when you were 2, 3, 4 years old. And so suddenly that's the energy. You become 2, 3, 4 years old and you start yelling, or you shut down, you freeze, you avoid, you run away from it. That's a trauma response. Okay. And if that's what you're struggling with on a daily basis, then I can tell you that no amount of talk therapy, EMDR, DBT, CBT, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, EFT, tell me more what you already did, it's not going to help you heal it. Not in the long term. Because none of those techniques and methods are meant to do that. They're all targeting different sites and different kind of challenges and issues. They're all great, but in their field for their specific problems. Not for generational childhood trauma. Yes, not for this, not for what you are struggling with. Okay, and to be really sure, like I keep throwing here the terms like generational development or childhood trauma, that's why you need to watch that Mommy Tantrum Training. And I think I even have podcast episodes about it explaining it, yes? So go back, I will refer you back to that. I'm not going to explain and like give a lesson on that right now. But the point is that if you have identified that this is the struggle, your emotions taking over, even though your brain knows better, then none of these counseling therapy techniques are going to help you heal it fast. They are not. They're simply not equipped to do that. They don't have the tools. Okay? So what you need to do instead is to look for a specialist that is going to help you assess exactly what you have. Like, where's the problem? Why it keeps happening? And that will tell you, okay, this is how I do it. This is how I heal it. This is the proof. These are like the people that I've done it for, and I know how to do it. And these are the steps we are going to take together to do it. Okay, that's what you need to find out. Okay, and if you would like to do it with me and my team, That's exactly the steps that you're taking, is exactly I started explaining. First, you do mommy tantrum training or daddy tantrum training, because that's like basically secret. I designed it as a self-diagnosis tool that I can do in a group setting, so that I don't have to go and teach one-on-one everybody and explain one by one in having one-on-one sessions. That's why I'm doing it as a free training, where I have an entire group of people live and then even more of them watching the replay, so that they can self-assess before even talking to me one-on-one. So that when they book that assessment call with me, which is the next step, they have already self-assessed and self-diagnosed, and they have already said and answered, yes, this is me, to a large extent. Because those who would be there sitting on the training, they're like, no, what are you talking about? No, never felt that way. They left the training. They never got to the end of it, where I invite for assessment call, right? That's how I do it. So that only the right people, the people with high probability that we can help them, only they can get to the end of the training, and they get the invitation to book the assessment call. And then in the assessment call, I really have the chance to talk one-on-one to you, and really in a safe environment help you realize, well, this is what you've been missing. Okay? And when that happens, and if they want to go next to the next step and get me and my team to help them heal it, then that's what we do. And as I already started explaining, we do it in a relatively short, like small number of sessions. We do it because our clients are active partners in their healing process. They are responsible together with us for their healing. And so then this is what's happening in these sessions. Let's go talk about that, right? So that rather than being triggered and opening up old wounds and then never getting the help, like in classic talk therapy, what's happening in these one-on-one sessions that we do, that are really targeting and specialized at healing the childhood pain, is that together with your coach is trained, your trauma coach is trained to be able to drill quickly to the root of it. So you don't have to tell stories and talk about years and years of your childhood. Your coach is trained through a series of questions to quickly get to the root of it, where it all went wrong. And even if you have no visual memories, either because your brilliant mind blocked off all of your painful childhood, or because it happened before your brain had the capacity to create and store long-term memories, which is for all of us usually before the age of 3 or 4, none of us have any memories, any long-term visual memories. We can't remember because the brain was not ready to keep and store it. But the good news is, for us, that's not an obstacle. Because what is the one place where your trauma is still stored? What is the place where you still feel the pain if you're not feeling heard by your kids? If you feel like they're ignoring you? If you're not good enough? What is the place where you feel it? It's in your body. It's the emotions. It's that uncontrollable emotions, especially the more intense and sudden, like suddenly, where did it even come from? Then you look back at it when you calm down, you're like, I turned into a monster. Like, where did that come from? I never yelled at my kids. Like, I never yelled at anybody before I became a mom. How is that even possible? I was always such a calm, gentle person. Well, this is where your body remembers. Okay, so then we either go after your visual memories, or we go after the imprints, the stressful memory that your body stored because your body remembers. Your coach is trained to be able to access it quickly without torturing you. And then your coach is going to apply one of those trauma healing techniques within a few minutes so that you start feeling relief instantly. Not all of it. I'm not going to sit here and promise unicorns and rainbows. It doesn't mean that after one session you're like healed forever and you will never feel not good enough ever in your life. Like, that's not realistic. Okay, let's talk about what realistic is, what it means. You will feel relief. There will be relief. You will be leaving the session feeling better than you did entering it. Okay? And also, what is the most valuable piece is that your coach is going to pull out the curtain at the end of the session and tell you, well, this is exactly what we did and why. And this is how you will keep practicing few seconds at a time from now on. Again, making you, lifting you up from the victim who needs help into being a partner who needs to cooperate on your own healing path, okay? This is why we can do it only in 5 sessions. This is why our clients are getting amazing breakthroughs after just 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions, okay? So that's why people like me who had a happy childhood or like normal, ordinary childhood, they don't need more than 5 sessions. And those who did have quite some painful stuff to deal with growing up, they need just 2 or 3 sessions on top of that, okay? Because this is the most powerful thing. And I that's why I keep using these like trauma methods, and I keep hiring coaches who know how to do these trauma methods. Because rather than treating our clients as victims, as powerless people who, we are the savior, like, it'd be so great for my ego, like to think like, I'm so great, I'm helping so many people, now I can feel good enough about myself. I was like, no, we are just guides. We are helping you get the tools that you need so that you can not only keep self-healing yourself, because life will keep throwing stuff at you, right? Like, the best success for me to know that I did the job well is when we can let our client go.